Alrighty guys, so welcome back for yet another Dokkan Battle video, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to showcase the new April Fool's free-to-play unit, the Para Brothers. Now, for me personally, I thought they were going to release, I believe it was like Super Saiyan Hercule, but they ended up releasing the Para Brothers here. Now, I do think the Para Brothers are going to be quite an interesting unit. I do think they're going to be pretty unique in the way that they're designed and the way that you're going to use them, because they do greatly raise defense for 3 turns, which is really good. So, you know, I'm going to be really interested to see what they do here. Their passive is also a little bit wonky because, again, they are a really good support type unit. Again, they give a lot of attack and defense, as well as ki, depending on if you have them in the first or second slot or in the third slot. So again, this is a unit that I think is going to have some usability in many situations. Now, the only thing I would say is really bad about them is their link set. They have things like More Than Meets the Eye, Flee, and Telekinesis, and Coward. Those 4 links in general are really bad. It's just, again, not something you really want to see. The only decent links really on this unit is GT and Shattering the Limit. Those are probably the only 2 you're ever going to see active, but even then, the GT link you're probably not going to get too often to activate unless you're like on the Dragon Ball Seekers team, where the actual leader of the team is a GT unit. So again, I do think these guys are going to be a decently solid unit, but I wish they'd had more, I would say maybe defensive built links with things like maybe Cold Judgment, Tough as Nails, Brainiacs, you know, stuff like that to really maximize their defense, because in my personal opinion, I do think this unit might be good defensively. Again, I don't know what they're going to look like because, again, we haven't done the showcase yet, but again, overall, I do think this unit is going to be somewhat decent. So anyways, let's go ahead. Let's hop right in and let's see what this unit can do at the Rainbow Star level. Alrighty guys, so surprisingly enough, this unit right here, who is also another free-to-play unit, I believe, dude, I forgot this guy's name. Giru is another free-to-play unit who also has an EZA, actually links surprisingly well with this unit. They share 4 out of 7 links, so More Than Meets the Eye, Solid Support, GT, and Shattering the Limit. Again, those are basically going to be his best links anyway that you want to have active, and also Giru is giving 30% attack and defensive support. So their start of turn defense is 100k. Again, keep in mind that depending on which slot that you have them in, they are going to be getting more attack and defense. Like, for example, if I put him in the 3rd slot, again, this unit would be getting an extra 150% defense. But of course, you know, I am going to go ahead and put him in slot 1 here, which is going to put them a little bit lower than they normally would. But, I mean, either way, still at 100k defense, and again, they greatly raise their defense on super attack, meaning that they're going to be at around 150k post super attack. I did not realize Goku was stunned. Okay, that is a horrible attack stat. What the hell? Not even 400k. Okay. Yeah, that is not a good attack stat. Holy cow, that was terrible. What? Okay. Dude, I'm a little speechless here. Holy cow, that was actual doo-doo. What? Oh, dude, this unit. The Para brothers, they're very much not built for attack. Okay. So basically on that turn, they had 1 ki and 120% to defense, and they were giving 25% attack and defensive support to the whole rotation, except they don't give it to themselves. They were also giving 2 ki and an extra 25% attack support in the 1st or 2nd slot. So again, that's why Giru was hitting a lot harder than he normally would, because he was giving or getting 50% attack support from the Para brothers. Now, I am going to put them in the 3rd slot because they do get another 120% defense there. So again, that is going to make their defense look much better here. But let's go ahead and see what they look like after one super attack. After one super attack, again, 152k defense, very, very impressive there. Does telekinesis give defense? No, it does not. But I'm going to go ahead and put him in the third slot there. Now, again, I'm not sure if this defense is going to activate or activate on super attack. I assume the extra defense is going to activate on super because, again, when a unit's in the third slot and you give them orbs, you can't necessarily tell if they have their passive active, which is the only issue. So I am going to put him in the third slot. Actually, and now I realize that was a bad thing because this Guldo is going to finish off this Goku, but if, again, the theory is correct and he gets an extra 120% defense, that is very, very stupidly good because their defense is already at 152k. Again, keep that in mind. Their defense is already at that level. So an extra 120%, even if it's only from a base stat, like you get the orbs and then it immediately goes and not on super, their defense should still be like pushing 200k without even supering. So I am really, really actually quite excited to see what this unit can do. Again, don't know when it exactly activates, because again, I assume it's going to be on super just with the way that it's worded in the passive. But again, with those types of things, it's really, really hard because, again, the unit's in the third slot. So you're practically, you know, playing a guessing game the entire time with the unit because, again, there's no real way of knowing. So we'll just have to, like, pray and see how it goes. I mean, I assume it's going to activate immediately, which, again, like I said, should still put him near 200k. Because, again, they did start out with, like, at 100k defense. Even without the support, they should be at around, like, maybe 90k. Or, like, again, really low balling at, like, 90k. So, I mean, they should still be looking good defensively. Alright, so, again, without support, they did drop down to 89k, around, essentially, 90k. Again, because the 3 turns of them raising their defense is no longer active. Again, they did go ahead and drop down. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. We are gonna put him in the second slot once more, because again, I do want to get maybe one more attack stat with them. Again, their attack stats are really not good. Very much clearly shown by their like under 400k super attack. But again, to be fair, this is a unit that literally gets no attack. Yeah, so 268. So basically under 300k. So not a very good unit when it comes to attack stats, but I think they should be fairly, again, decent defensively. And again, you do basically want to delegate this unit to like the third slot, because they're just going to be getting so much more defense in the third slot. Again, if they get that 120% at the start, again, when you get the orbs, their defense was 89k, no support. Their defense would be double if you put them in the third slot, because again, they get another 120%. So that would put them already at around like 160k defense. So again, needless to say, the Para brothers, even though they are a little bit goofy, I do think they are going to be significantly better than people may be giving them credit for. So anyways, let's go ahead and let's head on over now to the next category team with the Para brothers. Okay guys, so now we are on the Joined Forces team. Now again, their defense is going to look slightly lower here because again, we are not on a 170% leader skill like we were with the Dragon Ball Seekers team. Now, started turn defense is 81k. Again, if we do put them in slot 3, but again, I am assuming that that number is going to double because again, I believe that they immediately get that extra 120%, which again, they only get defense at the start, which is also 120%. So therefore, again, I'm kind of thinking that their defense is going to double. So instead of 81k in slot 3, their defense would be at around 160k without even supering. So again, very clearly they want you to use this unit in like a slot 3 scenario because again, they will also be giving a greater support type number 50% to attack, not 50% to attack, but 50% to defense and 25% to attack. Because again, they do give an extra 25% to defense in slot 3. So again, very much, clearly a unit that you want to be running in slot 3. But again, because it is a showcase-based video, again, I do want to get some rotations with them in slot 1. Now, this attack stat honestly should be pathetically low because there's no support and we're on a much lower leader skill. Yeah, 244k. Now, Boo did lower our defense there, so again, next turn, they did get 50% on super, so technically they would have been at around 120k after they super attacked. But again, Boo lowered our defense there, so their defense might be at around like 100k, 90k next turn with them. So again, what you're seeing there is not going to be their actual defense because unfortunately, their defense did get lowered. Alright, so again, the Joint Forces team, really not a team that I would recommend you using them because, again, they are really weirdly designed with their links, so they're just not really going to work well, unfortunately. That's going to be probably the biggest downside of the Para brothers, is I do think they are a really good free-to-play unit in terms of defense. Like, if you want a nice, solid, defensive free-to-play unit, I do think these guys are actually going to be able to fulfill that role. Yeah, again, 89k defense, but again, defense has been lowered. So, like I said, I do think they are going to be a unit that will be able to fulfill that defensive role, especially in slot 3, again, which is very clearly what the game is trying to make you do, is run these guys in slot 3. So they are going to be a good option. The only issue being, of course, their lack of teams, because they're only on Dragon Ball Seekers, Joined Forces, as well as Special Pose. Again, really, Joined Forces is the only team that you could argue is actually even runnable for these guys. But again, it honestly, man, the Joined Forces team has got to be their weakest team overall, if I'm being completely honest with you. Because again, they don't have a lot of really good units that they could link up with. The Dragon Ball Seekers team is, again, by far and away going to be their best team. The only issue is that, again, we really need more buffs for that category, specifically in the form of just like a new leader. Like, I love GT Trunks and Pan, GT Trunks, Goku, and Pan. I think they're a phenomenal unit, but they really need to just like upgrade them or give them an Easy 8 or something, because unfortunately, again, they're not the best defensively anymore. Like, they're still decent defensively, like, don't get me wrong, it's not like they're like god-awful defensively. Like, they're still decent, but at the end of the day, like, you really want like a super Omega top tier unit to be running the team. Similar to how Majin Vegeta is. Like, Majin Vegeta is a very clearly like a top 10 unit in the game. Straight up. Like, in terms of TURs, of course. Not counting LRs. But, again, he is just so good that you would run him regardless. I wouldn't really necessarily say the same for GT Trunks and Pan. Yeah, GT Trunks, Goku, and Pan. Because, again, they're really not a unit you would see running in difficult content anymore. Alright. So they did double super last turn, so again, their defense did double raise. So now they're at 162k. And again, they're going to get another 50% on super attack. And of course, their defense would be even higher if we did put them in slot 3 here. So again, just know that their defense, even after this super attack, which is going to put them at around 240k defense, would technically be even higher in slot 3. Just know that. I think in slot 3, their defense would be pushing 400k, like, without a doubt. And again, double-digit tanking. Again, this is a Dokkan event, boss, but again, I mean, it counts for something, you know? Especially if you're, like, a free-to-play player, and you see that, again, he is going to be, you know, a decent tanking option for your team. So again, Para brothers, really, really solid overall. Alright. I think we've pretty much seen all that we need to see from the Para brothers. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and try to see if we can get a friend into Gotenks. Because again, Special Pose team is literally only led by him. So again, let's go ahead and let's head on over now, hopefully, to the Special Pose team. Alrighty guys, so unfortunately I was not able to find an int Gotenks friend, which again, a little bit frustrating, but again, to be fair, the int Gotenks team is a 130% to defense, so unfortunately the Para brothers would have looked even worse. But again, I do think we've seen pretty much all that we need to see from the Para brothers, because again, I would have loved if they made it in their passive that the buffs that the Para brothers get was immediately seen in slot 3, but again, I assume, again, most of it is going to be, again, when they get the orbs, because that's typically how it's worded, is once they get the orbs, and again, there's no specific orb requirement, it's just when they get orbs, it's when it activates. So again, if they had gotten like an attack buff, like say for example 100% attack, and we saw their numbers go up, then yeah, we would have known that when you get the orbs it activates. But unfortunately, again, it's defense, and you really can't see that. So again, so for now we're just gonna completely go off of guesses, is what we think that the Para brothers are gonna be at. And again, based off of their defensive stats, both on the Dragon Ball Seekers team and the Joined Forces team, I do think the Para brothers could very easily get to like 400k defense. Because again, they double supered that one turn, put him at 162k defense. You put him in the third slot, they get an extra around like 80k defense, because again, at the start on a 150% lead team with no support, they were at like 81k defense. So you add that on top of their 162k defense, which is like 240k there, and then you get another 50% on super, which again, just for the sake of like, I guess, lowballing them, make it another 80k. You stack that on top of their already 240k defense, that puts him at 320%. Now mine has full additional, so it's not uncommon to maybe see them double super. So if they were to double super, that's another 80k defense on top of that, putting them at 400k. So again, the Para brothers are really going to shine defensively. And not only that, but they're also going to be giving a ton of support, because again, in slot 3, they're giving all allies 2 key and 25% defense, extra defense, because again, at the start, they give 25% attack and defense to all allies. So in slot 3, that's 50% defense, making this unit, in my opinion, even more valuable, because they're giving key and extra defense in slot 3. Again, overall, Para brothers, very nice. Again, my only criticism is that I wish they gave this unit more defensive built links, like maybe something like Tough as Nails, Brainiacs, you know, something like that, to really flush out this unit as a defensive wall. Maybe even give this unit maybe some damage reduction as well. You know, just throw in some more utility with this unit, because again, they're really only on 3 category teams, so they're really going to be limited in where you can use them. And again, the 2 teams I would recommend you use them above all else is going to be Dragon Ball Seekers #1 and Joined Forces. But again, with only 3 teams, that's not a whole lot you can go with. So again, overall, Para brothers, I do think they are going to be a very decent free-to-play unit. I would actually consider them to be a very good option if you're a free-to-play player. So yeah, that is going to do it for today's video, guys, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.
The name of this one is Rosé. Oh, this is the power of legendary Super Saiyan Goku. Now I understand.